Welcome to another episode of Diva Court. I'm your host, Marsha Mignot, and with me is my co-diva.
Hey, y'all.
Dana Smith, government names that will be. We are here live again for you this Tuesday night because we want to make sure, listeners, don't go to bed until you get your edutainment with us here at Diva Court. Don't forget to look for us every week and find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts.
Google us.
Don't forget to look for our videos every Wednesday when we push them out on YouTube real good so you can see them any colors. We've got colors tonight, listeners. Tonight we are doing aqua. Aquamarine.
Yes.
It's like Little Mermaids.
I think I have marine and you have aqua.
No, we have the same thanks to the cameras. A picture says 1,000 words, listeners. Sometimes it's 1,000 cuss words, but not tonight. What are we talking about tonight on Diva Court? Remember, don't turn your phones off yet. Catch this story. A lawyer.
Wait, make sure you comment quickly so we can address the people want to know. They want to talk to us.
They want to know. They want to know. Okay, that diva wants to hear from you.
Yes.
Not that this diva don't want to hear from you, but any trolling can go that way.
The people love me.
Okay, listeners, what's hot tonight is a YSL attorney has been arrested and charged with gang activity. What are we talking about? We're talking about an up-and-coming young female attorney here in Atlanta, Georgia, who was representing one of the YSL defendants, doing a fantastic job, making it to magazines about the new and upcoming Defense Counsel of the Year, and boom, career just dropped. Why did it drop? She texted a suspect in a murder case and shared with him that he had a warrant for his arrest. And where did she go awry? Because telling him he had a warrant is not the problem, listeners, but it's telling him to dump and destroy evidence. You better give her that phone. What's your take?
You know how you're supposed to vigorously represent your client? Did I say that right? Vigorously.
Zealously.
Vigorous is not a...
Vigorous? It's zealous representation.
Can you say vigorously?
You can say vigorous,
okay.
But it's
she
zealous.
Vicariously. That's where I was going with it. You know how you're supposed to vigorously?
She vicariously
messed
that all the way up.
And found herself into somebody's
Speaking of zealous, you know what's crazy though? That wasn't her client.
I know, that's crazy.
So she went vicarious somewhere else.
Well, that is what you call, going to this camera, that is what you call great customer service. You know what I'm saying?
No, great advertisement.
Right. Like, you so amped to make sure that you represent somebody, that you let them know you got a warrant and you need to do X, Y, and Z to get rid of the evidence.
It was a commercial.
Right. Call me.
Hey, you have a warrant for your arrest. Dump that evidence and call me next.
Right.
Call me when you get to the jail.
Right.
That is psychotic.
Right.
Come on,
you know
now.
how they have those personal injury commercials like, did you just get out of a car accident? Did you just find out that you had a warrant for your arrest?
Call Attorney Faith.
Do you not have insurance on your car?
Call me.
Do you have the evidence still at home?
Do you have the evidence you haven't destroyed?
Right.
Destroy it and then call me.
Destroy it again.
Yeah, that is psychotic.
Call me now.
I don't understand how someone would ruin a legal career just to tell someone that they have a warrant.
She about to bring down the whole mafia or something.
You think so?
It's something. It's just something. It's something like, something is a little fishy.
You don't think she just wanted to be famous as the Janetta Cochran of Atlanta? That she got a little bit outside of herself?
I don't know. It's
sometimes you could be so hungry to be, the best at what you do, and for people to acknowledge you and give you accolades and say how great you are.
But why would she know to throw his phone? Oh, she must have heard that they needed a warrant for his phone.
Well, she was in the middle of her trial, so something had to come out in her trial to give her notice that the phone was going to be an issue. Mm-hmm. Or maybe her client told her, hey, I think he's got some evidence on his phone or pictures of it on his phone. So she was like, okay, well, I'll help you, friend. I'll just tell him, dump the phone.
maybe he was gonna pay her to do it. Maybe it's because her client. Got
That,
some
listeners,
evidence
is not how this
allegedly.
works. Okay, so she's out on bond. She got a $40,000 bond, and the issue is, how is this going to end? I suspect, and we need to follow it, that the State Bar of Georgia should be on her heels right about now. Because that's a felony.
Did we? This is another attorney we need to look into.
We've got so many.
We got so many.
Diva Court is going to have an episode, Whatever Happened To, and it'll all be lawyers who've been arrested.
We do need to go down all these lawyers that have been arrested in Georgia, and do they still have their license?
Yes. What happened? What was the punishment? Did they get what they?
But that's like you don't need to. That's unethical and criminal. Like, you done broke.
That's
you can't be no attorney no more.
That's a problem.
You can't be.
I can think of at least two, and bar rules are a lot. I can think of at least two that would have violated those conducts. Now, I don't understand, because here's the thing. Here's what's peculiar. In order for you to lose your license, your conduct does not have to be criminal. You know that, right? So the State Bar doesn't even have to wait until the final adjudication of her criminal charges before they pursue.
So it could just be the appearance.
No, it could be that it's an ethics violation. Because remember, ethics violations are these civil rules of professional conduct that an attorney should not engage in.
If it's alleged, how can they say that she violated that? She would. So wait, are you telling me that she would have to present in front of the State Bar? And then
correct, because remember,
so
you still have a hearing.
But this is a criminal case.
No.
So now, is it anything she can say can go against her in a court of law?
But remember, and that would be the issue for her, is that she would end up in bar proceedings where, if she testified in the bar proceedings, it could be used against her in a criminal proceedings.
How fair is that?
If the prosecution wants to be real dirty, they will file a bar complaint against her. Because remember, a bar complaint can be filed by any citizen.
So what you'll have to do is just,
you got to plead the fifth. I mean, you can't testify.
So if you plead the fifth, they can still.
Yeah, because they can go by whatever evidence they have. Because remember, if you plead the fifth and they've subpoenaed, because remember, they still have subpoena power. They can subpoena documents.
So it's no point of pleading the fifth. You might as well just
save yourself.
I guess if you plead the fifth, then that gives you room to appeal.
Yeah, you could appeal if you win the criminal case. You could come back and say, hey, I pled the fifth and I couldn't testify and yada, yada. So there are appellate rights associated with both proceedings, because you could be convicted and still have an appellate right and get overturned, because that happened here in the state of Georgia. Remember that case? Remember, there was a young man, listeners, here in Georgia who was in the military, and he was having a mental episode, and someone called the police, and police came out.
We talked about that last week.
They shot him. They shot and killed him, and the Supreme Court overturned the conviction because of some trial issues. So she could end up going to trial, getting convicted, and it could still be overturned.
So it's her best just plead the fifth.
Hey, I don't know what she's going to plead, but if it's 5 or 6 or 7, but that's a problem when you're calling a suspect and telling the suspect to do something with evidence. Allegedly. Okay?
The police is like, she is guilty.
That's what the prosecutor is saying.
She is dead to rights.
The prosecution is saying that, which they usually say for anybody anyway. So she still has her due process rights. And counsel, good luck to you. Hopefully the allegations against you.
I got pulled over by the police today.
Again?
Shut up.
How many stories are we going to have?
I got pulled over do you know you can't eat and drive at the same time?
Well, if it's distracted driving, like if you're actually changing lanes and running off the road to lick your burger, yes.
Well, I wasn't
paying attention.
I was driving erratically.
That's because you probably were focused on your meal.
I was going like this. Bowl.
Did you get a warning?
Yeah, he didn't give me a ticket.
Oh, that was sweet. Ma'am, your food smells so good.
I'm on my way to my attorney's office.
He would say, well, you're going to have to call her from jail because I'm taking you into custody.
Sir, I'm not getting out this car.
We'll beat you out of it.
You have no reason to put me out this car.
No.
I'm ready for a lawsuit.
He smelled your meal and he said, okay, I'll just give you a warning because I got to go get some of that for myself.
Right. don't know if he wanted poke cereal.
You made him hungry. You made him hungry when he
I'm
smelled.
thirsty now, I'm
Wait,
thinking
are
about
you
it.
serious?
I didn't drink for real.
You cannot drink to that. You got pulled over. We don't drink to getting pulled over. Okay?
We drink for not getting a ticket.
Now that I'll drink to. Yes. For getting a warning.
He was like, you shouldn't be eating and driving. I said, that's a thing. That's a thing.
That's not legal.
Right. That's a problem. That doesn't mean that I
It's not an admission.
that's not an admission.
I'm just asking a question.
I was asking. That's a problem.
That's a problem. I can't do that. That's good.
I can't do that.
That is good. That's good. So thank goodness that you didn't get a citation. And good luck to your counselor.
Because I was like, why is he
On your
behind
case.
me? I'm like, I'm moving over.
He's moving over.
behind.
Did he not blue light you?
He did, but that makes sense. He said, now that I think about it, he was like, you're just driving erratically. No, you behind me. I'm trying to get out the way so you go get what you did.
Okay, so you couldn't explain that. Well, it's a good thing you didn't get a citation.
Because it was like, what you mean I was driving erratically?
At first you were when he saw
probably
you.
was.
And then you were trying to get away from him.
Right, I was trying to move out
were
the way
escaping.
because I know I'm not, my seatbelt's on.
Hey, that's called fleeing.
I just committed to fleeing.
Fleeing a burger.
Then when I went over, he went over. I was like, oh, snap.
Fleeing with the evidence.
Right.
The burger.
You should have called me and told me to get rid of the food.
All right, listeners. Talua, is that the correct name? Talua Willis, Bruce Willis's daughter,
Okay.
has made a public announcement that she was diagnosed with autism as an adult. Can you believe that somebody could get to their 30s and
I know
not
a few
get
people
diagnosed
who might need to
get evaluated? Oh my God! Tell me they're not in your household. You might want to keep silent. Remember, you still got to go home and live with them.
go home.
Yeah, I can't believe if somebody would make it to 30 and not be, especially somebody with a
'Cause maybe-
famous father.
Maybe it wasn't. I mean, because back then it wasn't that prevalent. As far as like
We didn't know what it was.
we didn't know what it was.
So
but
now
now
we're learning.
everybody has autism and ADHD.
ADHD was popular all along.
Yeah.
But the autism spectrum is getting more
Like
popular.
there's a lot more people
I think
on
it's
the
something
spectrum.
we're eating. I think it's something that
I wouldn't say that. I think it's more of a people are now recognizing it more, and now it's
you
showing
think they were
up more.
ignoring it?
I think people were ignoring it because people
The
always
signs?
ignore. They
That's just
ignore
how he is.
mental health.
That's
you
just
know?
how he is.
That's, he's just a little. He's just a little quirky.
He a little off.
They said quirky.
He's just a
little
little
off.
quirky. So I think now that they've got a better understanding of what autism is, like they can actually be like, oh yeah, that's it too, and oh yeah, that's it too.
Yeah,
we
you
forgot.
have to
Oh
be
yeah, that's it too.
super extreme in order for people to recognize that they're. You have to be missing. actual
Not
things.
necessarily because
But-
it's a
yeah, but-
spectrum. So
no,
they have
no,
high
the
function.
spectrum is a new thing.
Yeah,
That
It
is
used to be on and off. It used to be you have it or you don't. And what they meant by have it is you like
You're on the
severely have
spectrum.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you nonverbal, I guess that's the
Yeah.
stuff they would be like, okay,
Like
he's nonverbal.
I remember like in the special education class and you see all the kids who are like extremely, suffering from, whatever they have. So not everybody's like that.
Well, kudos to her for coming out because I think that's going to help a whole lot of other people. I am big on sharing what you've found and how you can help others by sharing your story
Yeah,
and
they
having
say
individuals
he has a
that's at
childlike
home.
spirit
Is that what that is?
back in the day. He has a
Oh,
childlike
okay.
spirit.
Instead of diagnosing you, they say you got a childlike spirit. Or you're quirky. Or they come up with excuses for what's going on.
he a little throwed off a little bit.
That's what it is.
A little off a little bit.
Well, thank goodness. Hopefully there are other individuals that could be blessed by it.
Especially with adults, like if adults got tested, it would make you deal with them in a different way.
It would. Because you know what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And that's why I am big on making sure that you
I'm about to get
share.
tested so you can be nice to me.
Oh, is that what you need?
Like she a little off. She a little thrown off.
Oh, I won't be mean to her because she's on the spectrum. Is that what you think?
Yeah.
I'd
I
like
just
shake
recently-
yourself up at your bootstraps.
I just recently took a personality test and I realized the older I get,
You were blonde?
no.
Oh, okay.
The older
I
I,
thought you
get,
were
the
legally
more,
blonde.
the more antisocial. And when I say antisocial, like the more less social I am. It's crazy. But
Is that what the test said? I think the test is wrong.
If you read it, I think you would think it was right.
So you're more antisocial.
I'm more like I'm like
a
this.
loner.
I don't have to
Like you're an introvert.
I'm an introvert extrovert.
Okay, listeners.
That's the thing.
Wait a minute.
That's a whole thing.
Wait a minute.
Wait,
Like,
this test said that you were an introvert.
No,
extrovert.
not this particular test.
Oh,
but
because I was going to say.
I'm an on and an off at the same time.
I took the test that that gives you the letters before, but what it is that I could be by myself. Like I don't have to be around other people to get energy. Like extroverted people, they need to be around people, and they take their energy from other people. I don't have to do. Like I can show up and be chill by myself.
I think I'm an. Wait. Before I describe myself as something,
You probably introvert,
what's the
extrovert.
definition of an extrovert?
Somebody who needs the energy of other people to like. You know what I'm saying? They thrive off the energy of other people. They got to always be the center of attention. You know what I'm saying?
That's an extrovert? I thought an extrovert.
She's close. She's close. It's more like they enjoy the company of people, and if they're out without the company of people long enough,
they can get depressed.
You can get depressed or slightly.
So they need that energy
down from that.
Okay.
So people give them joy.
Yeah.
Introverts are more like.
So who's the person that's just like they meet people and they never met a stranger and they talk to everybody and they interact with everybody? What's that?
Yes,
I thought that was that.
That's an extrovert. Yeah.
That's an extrovert.
I thought that was extrovert.
Yeah.
But then if the person doesn't have to have the people around.
That's why I'm saying I'm an introvert. Like I don't need.
It sounds like you need a new term.
Yeah, we need a third term.
It might be there, and we just don't know that term.
Yeah.
How
about a middle vert?
Can you just Google? Can you Google introvert, extrovert, and just see what comes up? But like that's how I am. Like,
middle vert. You're a middle vert.
I can go into a party and not have to talk to nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I can be cool. I could just chill, whatever. But I also know that if I do interact, attention will gravitate towards me.
Because you cut up.
You know I will.
So what you're telling me is that humans are complex creatures that can't really be labeled, right?
That's correct.
There you go.
So take your label off.
Oop, there it is.
Final verdict.
You know, for people who don't want
Order. Because that was good.
I was about to go to the.
That's a verdict.
I was about to go to another. The people who don't want to be labeled always have more new labels every month. There's a new label for the people like, don't label me, but I'm a blah 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 blah.
Oh,
blah,
you
blah.
hey, they said don't you label. You don't get it. They didn't say they didn't want to label. They just said they don't want you to do the labeling.
I see what you're saying. I'm a
slow
blah,
down.
blah blah blah.
Yeah, they say
blah,
slow
blah,
down.
blah.
The labels is not
with
for
a
you.
side of blah blah blah.
Yeah. They said they want to do the
They wanna
labeling.
label themselves. And then they tell me what to label them.
No, because they already labeled themselves.
Yeah, I already labeled me, so just call me what I labeled myself. Thank you.
Okay.
Don't create a new label.
Why are you wasting all these labels when I already did it for you?
So you gonna label yourself? No, maybe not. Not after
It's
that
too much
test.
energy.
You know what's crazy? I did a test like that one time, but it wasn't. It was a career test. You know, one of those tests that you fill out and it's like which career.
Oh, we got a commenter. They said it's empath.
Oh,
Empath.
it's not an introvert, extrovert. It's an empath.
Empath. All right.
Thank you, listener.
I don't think. No, I. If I'm not mistaken, I thought an empath is someone who can feel the feelings of others.
Ooh, you might be right.
Yeah,
We're gonna have to double check that.
I'd be like,
Wait a minute.
shut up and get your life together.
No, because you don't feel the empathy.
I do
of
not be
anybody.
feeling no empatheticness.
No.
I'd be like, stop being weak. Tough it up. Tough it up.
She's a psychopath, but not an empath.
I am closer to a psychopath. So what? You were supposed to be on your job, Mr. Producer.
Hey, you wanted me to put out the comments. and
I
this is
do.
what
Thank you for
the
this is what you
comment.
asked for.
So how you asking for comments? Producers say you're asking for too much. Okay.
Yeah.
So just,
I don't think I'm not a person who feel other people's feelings. Like I can be empathetic, but I'm not about to, because I know people who like, if you start crying, I start crying, then we start boo-hooing together. I'd be like,
no, you don't. You are empathetic. No, you would cry too.
it depends on what it is.
Yeah. Because I remember Larry. Hold on a second, Larry. Oh yeah, you
I
get
wasn't
involved.
crying. No, that was different.
No, but my point is, you
Larry.
will get,
Hilarious.
you will get involved.
Check
You
yourself
will
because
get
you're
involved.
out of control.
So yeah, you'll
No,
get
I'm
involved.
talking about like if you started like
No, but that's connected to empathy though,
My child-
because you're
okay. I
empathetic
see
to
what
the
you're
fact
saying.
that somebody was getting attacked
That's true.
All right,
unfairly.
I got the term. The term is ambivert. AMBIVERT. Someone who is balanced both introvert and extrovert.
Ambivert. So you're an ambivert.
Yeah. What's the definition?
With the ability to lean more into one or the other depending on the context.
Yeah, that's
Ooh.
Being able to switch from
we're by
introverted
bivert.
tendencies.
We're bivert.
Bipolar.
We're bivert.
That's a different thing. That's a whole different thing.
We bivert.
Labels. Hold on there, because we're about to make some up.
Yeah, because I'm low. I can just chill, and
See there?
Not be
Producers
bothered.
pushing out
Yeah,
information.
ambivert or ambivert, I'm assuming.
oh, there is an ambivert.
No, that's what it is. Like in
He's
between.
saying the
Oh,
pronunciation is
I
either
thought I said,
ambivert or
I'm a
ambivert.
bivert. Just making it up.
As long as she's not a pervert.
I mean, words are made up, but we make these words up to have meaning.
Well, let's not make that one up, please. Don't put that label on.
Perversion is just different. From
Put
the
that
norm.
label down, please.
Perversion is only different from the norm.
Excuse me?
That's what the definition is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the definition. It's
Well,
different from
let me tell you what the norm is. Don't try that at home.
You don't want to be labeled.
No.
Even if you are different
Hey,
from the norm.
I don't want
wanna
you
be
to
labeled
use
a
that
pervert.
label. Don't you dare.
Marsha,
You better say, I'm different from the
You're
norm.
you're a pervert.
No, ma'am.
I don't
No,
know
ma'am.
any perverts like you.
No, ma'am. I will not. Let me take my labels.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
We're gonna,
You're the best pervert I know.
No, ma'am. I am different from the norm.
That's why I called you that.
Use all those words. Don't shortcut it.
built
Thank
different,
you.
Built different. That's what we're just
Built
doing.
different. Built to last. How about
Built
that?
for tough.
Hey, that's it.
That's the first time I seen a producer laugh off of a joke I said.
You're killing the
'Cause it was
producer.
I don't know what's
stupid.
going on.
Producer
I'm
said-
wearing you down, boy. I'm wearing you down.
She's killing me.
Stupid. That's
I done said better jokes, and I just don't understand why that's
That
the one.
one,
he
that
chose.
one, that one.
That's the one he
That's
chose.
because you went with the pervert first.
I was wearing him down. He did smoke like it was a little funny.
No credit.
Let's get back on topic.
No
What
credit.
you
That's
doing?
right. Why you driving the
Get back on
train?
topic.
You can't drive this train. I'm the driver. Don't
on
you
back
see
on.
me at the
You
wheel?
losing the.
Good Lord.
gave the wheel to
Supreme
Jesus.
Court.
You
Let's
done
talk
gave the
about
wheel
the
to
Supreme.
Jesus.
No, take the wheel and drive fast. Supreme Court listeners, he clears the way for the Texas SB4 state law that makes it legal for them to put out illegals.
Ain't nothing wrong with
Hey,
that.
let me tell you something. You're not the federal government. All right, what are we talking about? The state of Texas passed SB4, which is a bill that is going to make it lawful for the state of Texas to arrest and deport illegal immigrants who enter the state. The federal government asked the Supreme Court to intervene and create a problem by staying the SB4. And the Supreme Court said, no, you have a federal court. Your federal court in the Fifth Circuit needs to do their job. And they did their job after they heard the Supreme Court's ruling. They said, let's have a hearing the next day. What's your take?
My take is, can the police pull you over and ask you for your papers
That's
outside
the
of a driver's
problem.
license?
That's
Outside of a driver's license.
that's the problem. You look illegal. Whoop, whoop. Hey.
Right.
By the way, the word the listeners want you to use instead is what was it? Eccentric. They want you to use eccentric. Yeah.
I'm eccentric. Don't use pervert.
Oh, for
Thank
her.
you, listener.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
I love eccentric.
Was that Jack Hay?
You don't know who that is. Stop pushing my listeners out. Thank you, listener. Eccentric.
Anyway, back to your
I'll
topic.
wear that label. Back to the Supreme Court.
Right,
What's
but
your
that's the
take?
thing, right? You can't ask people for their papers.
Well, you're
unless
not the
they're
federal government. So
Right.
keep in mind that the federal government listeners control borders. It's called Customs Border Protection. They're responsible for things that come into the country. Boats, planes, trains, people,
and automobiles.
automobiles. They're responsible for that. So what their problem was, the federal government's problem was, here comes the state, trampling on rights that belongs to the federal government.
Federal rights is a
Federal rights, that is. Federal rights in the Constitution.
You know, that was given what was that show, The Gray, with the grandma, and it was gray and they had the oil.
Beverly Hillbillies.
No, that's it. You know what I'm saying? At the end when they say white skies and blue skies. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, Beverly Hillbillies.
Right, when you said that is.
That is in their
their song,
theme song.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't think that the state of Texas should be able to blue light a vehicle.
I guess what the state of Texas is saying, federal government, get on your job. Why do we got to do your job?
Well, here's the thing. If let's apply
I'm okay
that
with illegals being here.
Let's apply that with
Is that what I'm supposed to say?
No. It's the concept.
You can't say illegal aliens. You can't say undocumented. You can't say any of those terms anymore.
Wait.
Did you know in New York you can't say pizza, rats, cheese,
No,
Subways,
that's the thing. Google that. Right
Crips,
wait.
Bloods?
Yeah.
Can't say none of that.
That's the thing.
Wait.
That you will get fined.
It's illegal. You'll get arrested.
Is there a statute?
Yes.
To go with that?
Can you Google that?
Yeah,
in New York?
I'll Google the statute.
He's not gonna do it.
I need this.
There's a statute.
Listeners, unfortunately, it's embedded in me to ask for. Can I have a statute to go with that? I need to know what the law is because I am not going to speak on Diva court. See the court part? This is the Diva part. This is the court part.
I'm the street part.
That's the Diva. This is the court.
Right.
Okay.
I'm the
That's the Diva.
The streets
are talking, but the court is not.
This is coming from the Heritage Foundation.
Is there not another article? I mean, does that mean the law is not there?
It means that they're most likely lying. This is the Heritage Foundation.
Just keep looking.
Because I
got that off of Black Twitter. I heard that.
Oh, they can't be lying too?
No, I'm just saying
they could be repeating bad information.
That's what I'm saying.
Garbage in, garbage out.
But in Canada, which is America's cousin,
but it's not America,
close to New York, you know they can't say the N-word out there.
Well, you're not supposed to say the N-word anywhere because it's not.
Okay, I see what they mean. Because I see what's happening. It's like, what they're saying is it's equivalent to harassment. You can't do it to humiliate, harass, or with the intent to demean.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Just like how we have laws in the state of Georgia that harassing communications in Georgia is a statute.
So if I'm cussing somebody out, so are you telling me I can't cuss somebody out?
No. They said harass. So say, for example, you and I are in an argument and you say it and it's like, whatever, don't talk to me. And you go, I'm going to email her. I'm going to put it on Facebook. I'm going to harass.
Is that what the statute says?
It says harassment.
It's equivalent.
Is that what harassment
It's
means?
equivalent to harassing anybody with any kind of words, honestly.
When you say harassment means like written documents?
Something you would file a TPO against.
Yeah. I could say, I'm going to file a TPO because she won't stop. I've told her to stop.
So one cuss out, how many cuss outs does it take before?
Oh my word. It's not
how many cuss outs does it take to get a TPO? That's what you said.
Exactly. How many times?
The same amount of cuss out it takes to get a TPO.
How many times can I cuss you out before you file them papers on me?
The same amount of cuss outs as a TPO is what it's going to take.
Get your illegal ass up out of here.
No, you can email. I'm going to call ICE on you because you know you illegal. So please stop harassing me.
So you can't call ICE on someone who's undocumented?
You can always call ICE on somebody that's undocumented.
A violation of the law?
No, you're not harassing them. You're reporting them.
Harassing them as in like
you better. Oh, that would be extortion. Like you better give me this money before I call ICE on your ass.
Or not knowing if they're actually illegal or not, and you're harassing them that way.
Yeah,
like,
you're not. Oh, the birther movement.
And they're like,
that would be great.
Obama
went through hell with that birther.
It's like somebody saying, I'm Puerto Rican. And they're harassing them to say you're illegal.
All right.
Yeah, that's true.
Puerto Ricans are U.S. citizens, by the way.
Makes sense.
Who are you explaining that to the audience?
To the audience. Because a lot of people don't know that Puerto Rico is a territory.
That is true.
You looked.
No. Don't laugh. Me. Don't laugh. Because you know that we know of cases where people have tried, ICE has tried to deport people who were where? From Puerto Rico. So don't laugh, listeners. Don't laugh.
I think ICE should know.
No, ICE does not know because not everybody that works at ICE has any sense.
Like how? Like How far does this document have to go up the chain?
Once I take you into custody and they finally bring you before a judge and say, "Hey, judge, we're placing him in removal proceedings.
We're sending him back
Where
to
were
Puerto
they
Rico."
born? We're sending him back to Puerto Rico.
And the judge is
Judge
like,
would be
you
like,
are.
I'm going to issue the order to dismiss this
You're an
removal
effing
case
idiot.
because you're an idiot.
You're an effing idiot.
And I'm going to report you to your supervisor because you have to be fired or retrained if they're going to keep you.
I have a question. If you have a green card and you become a U.S. citizen via a green card and you commit a heinous crime, can they still deport you?
Wait. You're already a citizen?
No, you have a green card and you become a U.S. citizen via the green card. Like that's your way of getting citizenship.
No, you can't. So you're already a citizen. You became a U.S. citizen because a permanent resident is not a
right.
citizen.
What I'm saying is not you're not just a. So you got is the nationality.
No,
Once
your
you have-
nationality
once
is
you have citizenship, you're a citizen.
yeah.
Right.
The end.
So if you become a U.S. citizen, so you have a permanent resident card, you apply for citizenship, you become a citizen.
What I'm saying is I wasn't gonna say if you're a U.S. citizen, can you get deported? That's not what I'm saying.
No, because if you become a U.S. citizen, you can't be
right.
deported.
So even if you have if you
If
start
you're
off,
a permanent resident,
if you're a permanent resident, so I'm from Jamaica.
right?
I move here. I
Right.
get my green card.
Right.
Then I do my M400. I become a U.S. citizen.
Right.
I do let's say I commit treason against the government.
Right.
Can I be deported back
Nope.
to Jamaica?
No, you going just to American jail.
Yeah.
That's it.
You're gonna stay in treason jail, treason prison.
Okay.
It's a one way street.
Yeah.
Okay.
Citizenship
That's all.
can't
So
you can't turn back.
You
So
do
once you
this.
become a U.S. citizen,
You're done. The only caveat to reversal of U.S. citizenship
Is fraud.
Is fraud. If
Okay.
you got your U.S. citizenship fraudulently, listeners, lied about your
Cheated.
birth, used somebody else's birth certificate to get your green card, lied about your marriage, committed polygamy to get your green card because you was married to somebody else, and then you marry somebody else, and then you get the green card, then you become a citizen. We'll reverse it if you got it fraudulently. That's everything in America. Anything you get
However-
fraudulently, you cannot keep.
There are some politicians that want to get rid of that.
Oh, they want to get rid of the fraud?
No, I want to get rid of the ability to not be able to revoke citizenships if it's just like you did a crime. Like what
Okay.
Dana
So
says,
they
if you-
want it to be treated as permanent resident card.
Yeah, they
Because- no, I don't think so.
or even
The purpose of citizenship then wouldn't make sense. That would just.
That means you don't have to pay them paperwork.
or even for people that are born in America. Like for instance, someone comes to America and they're not a citizen and they have a child in America.
Oh yeah, they were trying to.
They want to get rid of that as well.
They call them anchor babies.
They call them on Black Twitter. They call them tethers now.
It's anchor babies.
I understand that it's anchor babies, but they check. I said what y'all describing is an anchor baby. Well, the new age is tethers.
Oh, so that's
Yeah,
that's
the
the
new
2000.
Well, there's some people that want to get rid of it, even though it's very dumb. But whatever.
It wouldn't make sense because that means anybody born in another country, the other country could say, okay, you're born here, so you're not Jamaican. Oh, you're born here, you're not Bahamian. You're born here, but you.
But you know, if you're born in China, you're not Chinese.
What are you?
Isn't it some countries that you just because you are born there?
No, that's
you don't
different.
get
I think you're
citizenship?
talking about whether the child gets automatic citizenship if the parent is
okay.
a citizen.
I mean,
so some of those circumstances,
I
a
thought-
child is automatically. Some countries,
I thought,
if
yeah.
you are a citizen, even no matter where you have the child is considered by that government a citizen. But there are
You sure?
countries
'Cause I
that
thought it was
say
like-
no. That's why people will talk about dual citizenship. Oh, I have dual
No,
citizenship.
like I thought, like in China, if you were born, and it could be a different country, but if you're born there and your parents aren't citizens, you're not going to be a citizen.
I don't know about that.
I mean, certain countries do, certain countries don't. It just depends on the country's laws.
Their immigration laws as well.
It also
what governs.
depends on what they think. Because honestly, at the end of the day, you want the most citizens as possible. Because the most citizens as possible get you
get
the
that
most
money.
Yeah, you get the most economic
Benefit.
benefits, and the lower your population, more screwed you are.
That's true.
Talk to
Ask
Japan.
the countries that are dying
Isn't
off
that
and have no
Japan
young
and
people.
China?
It's not Japan.
Is
The
it
worst one right now is Korea,
Korea.
Wow.
and it's low
But
key.
was it in China too, though, right? Because they was only having like one.
No, they were They were limiting
They
you.
still
Right,
have
that's
to
what I'm
one
saying.
baby.
But they stopped that. They
Oh, they
flipped
stopped
it.
the limiting.
They
They
stopped
stopped the limiting
limiting.
because they were becoming us too small.
not too small. They were too lopsided with their population. A lot of women were falling outside the citizenship because parents would have a girl, and they're like, oh, girls aren't really valuable here, so
Bye.
they either get adopted to America or another country, or they're
They
not
have
even
to
a
be
citizen.
abortion.
They just don't exist on the map.
Which
Or
is
they have
crazy.
an
'Cause
abortion.
now,
They-
where you gonna have these babies from? If all
Or
the
they-
girls are gone,
Or they have
then who's gonna have the
weren't they
baby?
weren't they handing out abortions too?
Who's gonna have the baby if the girls are born?
I think they was handing out.
I don't
If
know
they if you don't have any
exactly.
girls to have the babies, then
I
what?
just remember
What's gonna
that
happen to your population?
if like a lot of couples would like they wanted a boy as the first child because how that culture is, like boys
Right.
get a lot more deference and you have better opportunities as a boy. So a lot of parents were fighting to get a boy whenever they're having a child, and whenever they have a girl, because you can only limit. I think the limit was 2 or 1 sometimes.
2 kids.
Yeah, and you get a girl the first round, and you're like,
I think it might have been one child per household. I
and
think.
it was
Honey.
like, don't exist. We never had a baby. On to the next one.
What's that crying? I don't know. I didn't hear anything. The TV.
Nah, I think
not
they
the baby
I
girl.
think they was handing out abortions too.
Not the baby
But
girl.
they've removed those policies because honestly, it wasn't a smart policy because it led to a over male saturation, where there's more men than women,
Wow.
and
And if you have more men than you have women, you have less people having babies. And when your
And their
population
population-
ages,
That's what I'm saying. That's what
then you really don't have any babies.
I think that's what was happening there as well as Japan.
I am certain. But let's
And
talk
Korea.
about the Supreme Courts. Despite the fact that I disagree with the rule of law violating federal law, the federal court seems to be taking action, and I anticipate that it's going to go up. So, listeners, it's not that the Supreme Court said, yep, Texas can deport them. That's not what the Supreme Court said. The Supreme Court said, we'll wait our turn. Stop trying to circumvent your courts in your state to come up to the Supreme Court, to ask the Supreme Court to stay something instead of allowing it to go through the process in your jurisdiction.
So the
So
Supreme
Fifth
Court was
Circuit,
doing their
do your
job.
job.
so
Do
the
your
Supreme
job.
Court did their job.
No, let me tell you what created this problem for the Supreme Court. All this Trump stuff that you fast tracking to hear when you would normally have to go through all the procedures in the state first before you got there.
Well,
and
you-
a lot of times,
you don't-
like Supreme Court gets maybe thousands of applications and accept 100.
So you are you talking about the Colorado case?
No. I'm talking about the Supreme Court is setting a precedent. Because remember, when you used to talk about stuff getting to the Supreme Court, it was years before something would get up to the Supreme Court. And not only that, the writ would not be granted. Like your application wouldn't even be granted. Like to get to them, you could crash in a plane faster than you could get to the Supreme Court.
But
Okay?
don't you think that the Trump stuff should be expedited?
No, I am saying they're creating this pattern.
Oh, so it's not
That-
like you're saying that it shouldn't happen for the Trump.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, why are you getting mad? Because they're coming to you. You're the reason that they're coming to you because
it's
you
not
keep
an urgent
accepting.
matter.
Yeah, it's urgent. They're saying you got them getting ready to do federal stuff, and they shouldn't be doing it. So you could have stayed it. You could have said, "We'll stay it once they make a final ruling as to whether
think
it's
they-
legal or not. Then we'll come back. You
Do
can come
they?
back."
Don't you have to file for a stay?
They did, and that's what the Supreme
so I
Court
see
said.
what's happening here. They're complaining about the problem they caused.
Correct.
So it's like a situation where we're giving out free candy.
Then you said, "Why is everybody coming over here
Why is
asking for
everybody
candy?
asking for free candy up here.
Stop asking for candy."
No, I get
You're
what
like,
you're
"Hey,
saying.
you
But I
invited
just
them to
think
come for candy. They saw you give out candy.
But-
so when you gave out candy,
But certain cases have to be. I just feel like with all this Trump stuff, they have to like go ahead and because it's an election year. Like if it wasn't an election year, it would be.
they don't have to do nothing, and that's what's frustrating some of the people who knew.
So then he'll get elected.
No, but there were
And be
people.
having pending
There were
charges.
people that had
Like they have
situations.
for example, there's another case coming that they have to hear that probably jumped like 10 other cases.
10? You mean thousands of
cases. But the part about can he shoot somebody in the
No, but this is my point: is if you're not hearing cases on fast track, you should not be hearing cases on fast track. You have situations where people are even facing the death penalty. Like this man is gonna die. They're gonna keep sticking him with a needle, and we need you to rule on it because we think the evidence was bad and we've gone as far as we can go, and we need you to hear it
That can
fast
be
track.
expedited.
No, goodbye, sir. Goodbye.
We have
Goodbye.
more important things to do.
We have very important things to do. like to determine. Let me tell you something. I was sworn for the Supreme Court. I was shocked. They were hearing cases about Native American land that was taken.
In 1947.
I shook my head. I said, what? What? Did I hear that right? Yes. I was there to be sworn to practice before the Supreme Court, listeners. And we were sitting there waiting for the honor to be called and to be sworn.
This is Georgia's?
No, in D.C.
In D.C.
The United States Supreme. You don't know my
What's your
certificate
favorite?
is on
What's
the
your
wall?
favorite? Your Justice.
Justice Thomas.
Justice
Jackson.
Thomas.
Yeah, Justice Thomas,
Thomas is your favorite.
spoke to our group and had a nice little meet and greet with him personally in an intimate little circle and whatever. And
Was he not necessarily impressive, but was he like if you didn't like his politics, like if you
I'm what, eccentric?
if you take away his politics, how was he as just a person?
Okay, so if you're speaking to him, he sounds normal. Okay? He sounds normal. He addressed the group in a normal manner. And if you were to interact with him and not read his opinions, you would say, wow, okay.
He's a cool person.
This is a cool person.
This is a really eccentric person that I
this
wish
is
wasn't in the position
really
of power he was.
eccentric. This is fantastic. He was expressing to our group that most of the times, by the time a case gets to the Supreme Court, that they pretty much know what they're going to do. And I interpreted his statement to mean that we've seen so much by then. The box came, it was delivered, we've reviewed it. When we decided we were going to let you come up, we didn't give you a brief deadline until we've actually looked at the documents, reviewed the documents, had our law clerk research the documents, and then we're going to make a decision.
But
Correct.
that's
So
not what
unless you come
that's not
with
what he meant at
something-
all. That's not what he meant at all.
Unless you
He's
come with
already
something
he's
that-
already decided before you read anything.
That's what I felt. I was trying to be nice and say, well, maybe he meant because
So unless you come with an argument that is
it's got to be so compelling that it wasn't even in your writing, and you created it on the fly because
but it's close enough to the
one of the justices asked you something, and you kind of on the fly.
The only way you can make a justice change their mind is to make them think that if they do whatever they're going to do, they're going to look like an idiot. You got to
That is
make
true.
them look
Nobody
stupid.
wants to look foolish. But he did say that there was only one time in his entire time on the bench that an attorney who made oral argument changed his ruling.
Did he
Changed
tell
his
you
mind.
what it was?
He didn't tell us what it was. He said it only happened once. Period.
Did you ask him?
Nope.
Did you want to know?
Nope. Because once I realized that, when you talk about getting an opportunity to argue before the Supreme Court, do you know how much work a lawyer has put in to get that far to make an argument?
For them to already have
Hey, for you to already have your mind made up, I'm done. I'm spent. I've had the pleasure of arguing before the Supreme Court of Georgia, and I found the experience to not to be what it was chalked up to be. I found that the interruptions were great and the questions didn't match.
the great
The great.
Like if you just stop talking.
the interruptions was a lot, and I don't know if they do it on purpose to throw you off your game.
But what would be the purpose? Like, why would you even do
why
that?
you allow me to argue if you're not
Right.
going to listen?
Right.
And the kind of work that goes into it. Everybody is looking at the documents. Did we write it right? Did it put the brief? I even had an amicus, meaning the Georgia Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers. They filed an amicus, and they were like, "We support her. We think she should win. It's a fantastic argument. Nobody thought about it."
This is the one about the drunk driving
The
thing,
DUI.
right? Yeah.
The DUI. And it was like, wow, all of this for 20 minutes. Because they put you on a time clock. Mm-hmm. They are serious about the issues they tell you to talk about. And they limit you by order. Do not address anything other than this. And they give you this narrow argument that you're coming to make. And then they ask you questions about everything else that was
Except for what was in that narrow
except for what they
argument that you've
told
been
you
practicing.
to be prepared.
And that's how I know it's just a beauty pageant at that point.
Is that what it was?
How can you make a valid argument in less than 20 minutes?
That is true.
To try
That's
to
tough.
convince somebody when trying
Of
to
something
convince
that is probably 3 years in the making.
trying to
3 years, been to every court.
when it takes months to try to convince somebody else, like a normal person, to
That is
change their
true.
opinion.
Look how long I've been trying to convince you. It's still not working.
You still trying to convince me to vote for Joe Biden? Ain't
It's
nobody
still not
voting
working.
for Joe.
It's still not
Ain't
working.
nobody voting for.
It's still not working. It's still not working. It's still not working.
Can we drink to that? Inside joke, y'all. I don't know. We got some more comments.
Yeah, you do. You got your commenter. Thomas doesn't even come off as intelligent. He is not very articulate, in my opinion.
Not in his writings. You are correct. But in person, though, remember some people talk better than they write.
Yeah.
So the listener is correct. The listener is
I write
correct.
better than I speak.
No, some people can speak properly.
Yeah.
But when it comes to writing,
I mean, but Thomas is usually
Listen.
wrong.
no,
Listen.
no, I didn't say his ideology is not off
So
base.
it's hard to write good when your ideology sucks.
Sotomayor. How do you pronounce her name?
Sotomayor.
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 When she was speaking during oral arguments, I was just like, huh?
But she can write.
Maybe.
That's my
Yeah.
point is
But I was like, oh.
you
can write.
speak because when you're speaking,
It's
you
just
understand
off the top.
Yeah, it's just about
Putting
surface
words into
surface
sentences.
stuff. You can make a sentence. You made it all the way through law school. You
Right.
passed the bar exam. You can make a sentence.
Right.
So in the setting that we were interacting with him,
Do
he
you
was
think
just.
Roberts can write?
I think his writings are decent.
Do you think Alito can write?
No.
Is there any conservative, your boy, you know your favorite one, Kavanaugh, Mr.
I love beer.
Do you think he can write?
I just love beer so much.
You know,
Not better than Roberts.
you know
Not
who-
better than Roberts.
You know who I was kind of impressed with? I know that means nothing to you. the newest one, the white woman that they put on the court.
Amy
The one with
Coney.
all
Amy.
the kids.
I was like, when I listened to her, I was
You
like,
talking about her oral argument?
yeah,
Okay. Her questioning. Of
her
the-
questioning, her thought process. I was like, she's on to something. Just
I
like
don't know. I don't
Ketanji.
trust most of those justices.
Hey, that,
Because what
Ketanji.
was it? My most hated justice of all time will forever be Justice Black.
oh, okay.
You don't know Justice Black, but Justice Black would not like you.
Well, you know who else I like?
Because of his name, Black.
No,
What
no,
was
no,
the
no, no,
other-
no, no.
what's the
He
other-
was
Name is
white.
Black.
He was white.
It
No,
was-
but the name is Black.
It's
name is
three.
Black.
It's three Democrats. What's the other one? It's
I thought it was a 5-4.
Sotomayor.
There was a new black woman.
There's not a 5-4.
Ketanji. It's
Ketanji.
Sotomayor, and then it's like another one, like Kagan or something.
I have no clue.
I know who you're talking about. It's a white dude.
It's
if
a
I
white
remember.
woman.
Good luck to them. I don't follow them
It's
because
3 to,
my experiences have.
Honestly, when you think about it, the judicial system is poorly thought through. Honestly, why would you have elders, a legion of elders that decide and rule over all the people? Because the Supreme Court has more
It sounds
power
like-
than a lot of people think.
It sounds like
Yeah, they do.
It sounds
do.
like the way
And they exercise it when they feel like it.
It sounds like the way Israelites set up their.
It sounds like the way
It's biblical.
Congress is set
It
up.
just sounds like
It's
it wasn't
biblical.
thought through. It's supposed to be like a balance of powers, but that one power has the ability to technically make a law and
That's true.
remove a law at the same
Yeah,
time.
that's true.
Well, it starts at the lower court, though, right?
No, because the Supreme Court has the ultimate power to say the lower court.
They have the
got it
final
wrong.
say.
Right, but
And once they say that's it, I
But-
remember in the counting of the votes, they stopped it.
right, but at the lower court,
Bush v.
if
Gore.
you out there setting the precedents, you know what I'm saying?
No, but at lower court, you're not setting nothing. Remember, at lower court, you're supposed to be following the law that the legislators put in place.
Well, yeah, well, but what-
you are supposed to
do they do that?
enforce.
But that's
the
what I'm
laws.
saying, but do they
You're
do-
not supposed to misinterpret it.
But it has to be egregious.
Well, sometimes the Supreme Court, who has the final say so, will say it is egregious.
Because
But if it's
And
not,
it shouldn't
but
happen.
What I'm saying is that if they didn't follow the law, but it's not egregious and it gets appealed, and they're like, oh, this is nothing.
That's
then the
why I
court
said
is-
to you, they have the power, like the
then the
producer
court is
said,
still setting the law.
and they exercise it when they feel like it,
No,
and in circumstances that they like.
listen to the lower level aspect though, right? So the judge did something egregious, right? You go to the Court of Appeals. The Court of Appeals is like, meh, it's not egregious enough, and send it back down.
No, if the Court of Appeals doesn't give you what you're looking for, you
Then you
still
go
have
to
one
the
more
Supreme
level.
Court.
Remember,
you go to the
always
Supreme
can go
Court.
back to
Right.
Supreme
So you
Court.
go to Supreme Court,
Right.
and they're like, we don't think it's that big of a deal.
And depending on what the issue is with the Supreme Court of the state, you can ask to go to the Supreme Court of the United States.
Okay. And so
But
if
not everything,
none of
just
those,
certain things.
If none of those people, well, let's say this: if the Supreme, I'm not talking about like egregious like that. I'm talking about like little, things that are just devastating for
The problem you
defense.
have with egregious, sometimes
It's
no
so
matter how
subjective.
egregious, no matter how egregious it is, the litigant can't afford it. So
So hence
your
the
problem.
lower courts is setting laws.
no, they're not setting laws.
not setting
They're
laws.
just not enforcing laws.
Because
There's a
remember,
difference.
the Supreme Court has the final say in interpreting the Constitution.
No, I get everything that you guys are saying.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, at the end of the day,
No, they're not setting laws. They're violating laws based on the circumstances
they're
you're
violating-
giving.
they're
It would be a
violating laws
violation of the law
that
because
are
the
being
law
held
says
with-
you're supposed to do this
but-
and you're not.
But they're violating laws that are still being upholded though.
No, you're not upholding it. To uphold the law as a judge is to follow what the law says you're supposed to do. Violating law, which is why I'm going up on appeal, is because you're not following what the law
Right,
says.
but if the appeal court says, "Oh, it's not egregious enough," the judge didn't do it. It's all right.
Yeah, you
I can
still
see it
have the
either
chance
way.
to go to the Supreme
and then
Court.
then to go to the state Supreme Court. Oh, it's not egregious enough. I can see why they went this way. I mean, the trial judge, maybe he was a little off, but he didn't err enough. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then it goes to the Supreme Court of the land, and they're like, "We're not even looking at this."
Yeah, because usually
That's how it works.
That's
So what I'm
happens.
saying is, at the end of the day, their mishandling of the law is still upholding a law that they created on the lower court.
not really. I would say it's more like
The reason why I
you
say
ran out
that
of
is
gas.
because
Yeah,
one of the
you
reasons
ran out of gas.
One of the reasons why, one of the things you told me was like, if anything, make sure you voting for the right DAs and the right judges because that's where the power is.
It really is.
That's where the power
Legislation
is.
too. Legislation too.
Legislators.
Because you want people not passing the dumb laws in the first place to now
is that?
have to go before the judge to have to worry about the judge following the dumb law. And now the
Or
judge
not
is like,
following the dumb
I don't
law.
agree with the dumb law, but my job is to follow the dumb law. So I'm just going to have to follow the dumb law. And now you're stuck with law that doesn't make any sense or is not practical or shouldn't have been passed in the first place. So
there it
if you want the real power, I'm talking about the real power.
You gotta be on the Supreme Court.
Legislation. Nope. Legislation.
But the Supreme Court would be like, "Nah, y'all wrong. We ain't. This
Remember,
is-
statutory rule of law, it's as long as it don't run amok of something constitutional, you good.
You can pretty much do what you want. 'Cause
Hey, you
it's
could.
it's so many laws that they would even have to go over. That's why there's so many laws on the books like that you would see in Georgia
That they're not
laws
enforcing,
books, that you're
but
like,
they're still
wait,
legal.
What? I
Can't
can't
be
have
on the pigs on Tuesdays on the right hand side of the road. You're like,
I can't
and
I
then
can't
you walking
drive
down
with
with your pig, and the police run up on you like, "What you got these pigs out
hey,
here
and you
for?"
say, because I can.
Because I'm walking my
I'm walking my
pig.
pigs.
He
He
my
said,
pet.
not on the right
Not
side of the
on
road.
Tuesdays. Not on Tuesdays. On the right side of the road, you not. Here go your ticket.
exactly. So
You're
you,
making. This is
those laws are very easily made, and remember, to be a person that makes laws, you don't need any education.
Nope.
You just need to be.
You don't
born
have
in
to
it.
have a law degree.
You don't even know. You
You
don't
just
even need
get
to know
up
how
and
to
say,
write.
I want to be senator, and I'm going to run, and these people are going to vote for me because they don't really
Charismatic.
know who I am.
Oh, I mean, you just got to be. It's a popularity contest.
Yeah, and these days it's a crazy contest. You just got to
Who
say
can
crazy.
be more crazy?
If you say crazy, I vote crazy.
That's why
Got
Kim
my vote.
run the first time because he tried to out crazy all the crazy.
And he did, and won
he
with the crazy. He took out the gun on that teenager, and everybody went crazy about that commercial, and he won.
He won.
And then he said, "I will never do that again."
Never do that
the
again.
second time he was normal.
He said, "That's irresponsible."
He had to be. He
second
went
time
very
he was
moderate. He
Yes,
went very
he
moderate.
did. He came down from that smoke. He said, "That's too high."
He said that was a little.
You think he'll run for president?
I doubt it.
I doubt it.
He's been on the guard for too long. When you get your freedom back after you've been in a position of authority where your safety and your family's safety and your risk, you understand what I'm saying? When you get that freedom
Except for
back,
if you're Trump because you're crazy.
no, except if you, that's true.
Because
That's true.
you lost, and then you.
The
That's
people,
Is this the first time
the
in
people-
history
That's true.
that somebody lost and then they try to run again the next? They won one year, they lost, and then they try to run again.
I don't think
Is
it's
this
the
the
first
first-
one.
is
No,
that
it's
the
not the first one.
No. He's not first.
It
He's the
usually-
first one
the
asking
odds-
for a bloodbath.
The odds are against him because of this. Because it's usually like somebody, like it's very rare. I think only one president had like in between terms where like they won, then they lost, then they won again.
Yeah.
Like usually most presidents, they have back to backs and that's it.
Yeah, that's true.
If
It-
you-
Or
it's
one
usually-
and done.
No, you get 2 terms.
You- no, no,
Usually
you
they-
get- you get
it's
one and
either
done,
one and done, or
you get
it's
2 back to
terms.
back.
Correct.
But there was like one president. I don't
Because
remember
Daddy
who.
Bush did one, and he
Yeah.
was done.
Yeah,
And
one
then son
and one
Bush.
and got put out.
Yeah.
One to
He
get
said
put out
one
or
and
one
done.
and done. Sometimes it's like the stress of being a
Hey,
president.
he said I can't do it. And sometimes it's the family. Sometimes I think it's your spouse going, I can't do that. Twice.
Because honestly, like people who want to be president should not be president. And the people that should be president don't want to be president.
That's correct.
That's why. That's why I don't believe that there's not a righteous woman who would want to be president.
Okay, so I'm gonna move on from that righteousness.
Are you running for president? Are you running for president?
Let me run
Exactly.
from that stupid topic
point
because
proven.
I disagree with that statement, listeners. And if
Are
I
you
were to
running
go
for president?
into it,
Are
it
you
would
running?
keep y'all awake
Are you running?
tonight.
Are you running?
And I don't want to keep my
Are you
listeners
running?
up because
Are you
their
running?
doctors say
Are you
they're
running?
supposed to turn the
Are you
phone
running?
off
Are you
an
running?
hour before they
Are you
go
running?
to sleep.
Are you running? Are you running?
Second of 6 former Mississippi
going?
officers sentenced to more than
thought we was about to
17
drink
years
to that. Oh, we
for
gotta talk about
torture
this.
of 2 black men. We have to talk about this. Listeners, what are we talking about? Mississippi, there were... How are you going to drink to that kind of story? You should be shedding tears.
I'm pouring out a little liquor for my dead homies.
Oh, my word.
By pouring out, you mean pouring it into your mouth? All right, that's good.
This is pouring out the bottle or the glass. All right, listeners, what are we talking about? There were 6 former Mississippi officers that were sentenced to, but I take that back. 2 have pled guilty and the others are expected to plead guilty. But the 2 that have pled guilty
What happened?
are sentenced to 17 years for brutalizing 2 black men based on their race. One of them even shot in the mouth one of the black victims, and thank God he survived. He did not die. And I want to know what's going on in Mississippi. Do you need to know what's going on?
Is that the same?
Mississippi burning.
Is that
Is
what
that
it
the same state where they were burying like bodies
Yeah.
Yes.
It's probably the
Yes.
same people.
of
Yes.
things that like police ran somebody over by accident and then they like
And
took
found
them
bodies at the prison.
and just
Yes.
like buried them in an
Yeah,
unmarked grave.
on
Like,
Yes.
unmarked graves.
Yes.
Oh, they gave him a number because remember the lady was looking for her son, and
And
they
trying to
finally
find it.
gave her a number and told her that she had to pay for them to
to tell her where the body is.
or to move him
Wow.
to somewhere or something to get him a better grave.
That's a sad story, listeners, and I think they should have gotten more time. I don't know what statute
when do
they were
you
charged under.
don't Mississippi have the death penalty?
No, but where's the RICO? Is that not RICO? I'm sorry. If
Fonnie's
you rap,
Fonnie's not over there.
well, Fonnie need to go to Mississippi.
she
and
need
help
to do
us
something
out.
because she.
I'm gonna need
Oh,
Fonnie.
we didn't even talk about that.
The ruling.
Right.
Yeah, speaking of Fonnie, we're going to get to that, listeners, but this Mississippi thing,
I can't believe we
Fonnie
didn't
need
think
to go
about that.
fix that. She got a ruling from Judge McAfee, and he gave her a split decision. I think it was a fair decision. Kudos to you, Judge McAfee. I like you. Put your hands together. In fact, somebody's running against him. And Donald Trump says he wants to appeal the decision that he made. Although he said Wade has to go or Fonnie has to go. And Fonnie says Wade will go. And Trump says, well, I'm going to appeal him. Because I really don't want Wade to go.
Because he
I
didn't
want Fonnie
like,
to go.
right. He liked it. He liked it at first until she
Yeah.
said, I'll leave. Or you'll leave. Or he'll leave. Because
So,
he knows.
she stays prosecutor. You know, I kept saying, people are like, what do you think he's going to do? I said, he cannot remove her. No matter how salacious.
Because nobody's
no matter
going to take that case.
No, but no matter how sexy that stuff was, you have to prove, right? You have to prove that the
Oh, you talking about the
acts.
judge. I thought, I knew that she would have, well, I was talking about the ruling. She would have had to,
No, but to be honest with you, I said here on Diva Court, listeners, go look at the episodes. What she should have done is get rid of him. Get rid of him. I know she don't want to look weak, and she probably waited until Judge
That
McAfee
pride.
made a decision. But sometimes you got to put your pride
That's that
aside.
pride.
You have to come out and you have to say, you know what? Since it's such a controversy, since it's such a big deal, I have decided that he will step down.
Mm-hmm.
The man stepped down the day after the ruling. So evidently he don't have a problem with leaving the case.
Well,
he didn't fight to stay on it. He didn't appeal the decision. He
Well,
didn't try to appeal the decision.
the thing is that she couldn't step down because
No, my point is,
if she would have stepped down, like, here's my question for you.
she would have to choose Wade over her job.
Right.
And who
And who
does
else?
that
No,
after the
no,
citizens
no,
have
no.
elected you?
No. My thing is that if she would have stepped down, I'm asking you this question. If she would have stepped down, would the case still have been in Fulton County?
It could have stayed in Fulton because remember, you can bring in special prosecutors. That's what people get confused. They're like, you could have still had the same 90% that didn't vote for Trump be in your jury.
So she would have had to step away and then found another special prosecutor to prosecute.
Yeah, they would assign a special prosecutor to the case. Then his next argument would be, I want venue to move. Because remember,
Right.
even though you change a prosecutor, you don't have to change venue.
Right.
You can keep the prosecutor
and
in the same venue.
Nobody wants that case.
He don't want the venue to be in Fulton.
even the listeners agree that the ruling was brilliant. They
Yeah,
loved it.
I love the ruling.
It was a Solomon. It was a Solomon ruling.
Let me tell you something. It was an excellent ruling. That
It's a
man
Solomon ruling.
thought it through. He listened to the evidence. He realized, you know what? There is an appearance of impropriety.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's an appearance of it, this is what we do.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go, sir. You got to go. Madam, we don't believe that you got into that relationship to come up and conspire with an opportunity to make money because it was $300,000. It was split amongst 3 attorneys.
The listeners also bring up a good point that it would probably be political suicide for the judge to rule against Fani in Fulton County.
I think so too, because remember, 90% of the Fulton County voters did not vote for Trump. They voted for Biden.
99.
Oh, I'm sorry. 99% of the voters voted for Biden. So you got to know your jurisdiction. You got to know your audience. So I think he did the right
That was
thing.
a good comment, listener.
Excellent comment. But I think what he did was he said, look, the appearance of impropriety is what we have here.
You can't be looking like you laying it low and spreading
But
it
the
wide.
relationship is over. So what he's saying is you made some bad choices. And he jumped on her in that ruling. I mean,
With your bad attitude.
He slapped
And your
her and he
bad
was like,
choices.
you made bad choices, okay?
Yes.
And you're in this situation because of your choices,
Right.
not because of anybody else's choices. He also found that she made some racial comment that her racial comment, I don't know what racial
Oh,
comment.
racial comment.
Yeah, I think she gave a speech at the Martin Luther King commemorative service that happens every year around Martin Luther King's birthday while the case was pending. And she was like, yeah, the first time I pick, if I pick the white man, it's not an issue. The first time I pick a black man, now everybody's got a problem or something like that. There's some comment that was made at the service. And I think his ruling was addressing
You
that
just your
comment.
mouth is just shut your mouth. Put a
My-
muzzle
my
on that
point
nigga.
is this.
That's
Look,
what she was
if
saying.
I make a bad decision, I'm going to own the bad decision. I'm not going to further the bad decision with further bad decisions. I'm going to shut the bad decisions down.
so she's talking about if I would have picked the white guy.
Nobody would have had a problem. Nobody would have had a problem.
Well, you wouldn't been
And-
dating the white guy.
No, but you could have been dating him and it wouldn't have been a problem.
No,
okay?
it would have been a problem.
Uh,
it would have been a real big
it-
problem because they
it-
don't like interracial
Look,
dating.
dating the white guy can get you vice presidentship. Okay?
Oh, so that was a dig
relax.
at Kamala.
Relax.
Was that a dig at Kamala?
Relax.
Uh-oh.
Okay? She's making good decisions. She knows how to get to the top.
She slept
Okay.
her way up to
So,
the top.
hey, and she married her way to the top. That's good.
There you go.
Kudos for you, ma'am. But my point is, Judge McAfee did a good job because he wrote a 40-something page ruling. So he gave you enough paper. He analyzed it to the T, and he said, you failed to prove that you suffered any harm. And the appearance of impropriety, he goes or she goes. That's it. So she chose between, am I going to do my job, which the voters elect me to do, which is prosecute crimes that occurred in Fulton County, or am I going to stick with a relationship? That's a no-brainer because she had already testified the relationship was over with based on his position that a woman can do nothing for him but make him a sandwich, assuming arguendo that was true.
Where is Fani's publicist?
Who?
Publicist. Yeah, where
who?
is she?
She need a muscle.
A publicist?
A publicist.
She need
A
a muscle.
publicist.
A speechwriter.
She need a man.
Something.
A publicist.
She need a man to tell her to keep her
publicist.
mouth shut and go stand in the
A man
kitchen.
can't tell her to keep his mouth. Keep her mouth.
Obviously not, because she keep
Not on
running it.
Diva Court. He can't.
He can't. She keep running
Okay.
her mouth.
She can run her mouth, but she got to run it properly.
She ain't running it properly because she
Run
ain't
it
no
right.
man.
Get some people to practice you in front of the mirror.
You better get you a man because you don't know how to shut the.
No, but let me tell you what the problem is. The problem is you bring your life's experiences to the table, and you bring
Are you
them to
calling her a
certain.
hood rat?
Nope, I'm just saying you bring your life experiences to the table, and if you bring certain life experiences to the table, and you are not taught what table you are at, then you will bring the wrong thing.
So what
to
she's
the
trying
table.
to say is fish don't fry in the kitchen.
And beans don't burn on the grill.
There you
Are you
Took a
saying she was
whole
too
lot
black?
of trying.
She was
just to get up
she
that
was being
hill.
too
No,
black.
she was just frying fish in the kitchen when she should have been frying it outside.
Yeah, you don't fry the fish in the kitchen.
Or you don't fry somebody else's fish.
Yes. Don't do it. Don't do it. So
Or be.
I
I'm talking about her
said
being
it
a
before.
home wrecker. 'Cause
No,
her-
but I said it
the man
before.
belonged to another woman.
No, that
And
relationship was over
Hey,
before she
let
got
the
there.
joke roll. Let the joke.
joke
roll.
has got
When
to
you
roll
gotta
out.
explain
He
the
was
joke.
frying the fish.
When you got to
You
explain
laughed.
the joke.
You laughed. So I don't know if that
I'm
was
laughing
a
at
sympathy
the
laugh.
laughing at the
That
fact
was
that
a
you're trying to
sympathy laugh.
explain the joke.
It's
When
not
you
a
gotta
joke if you
explain-
got to explain
No,
it.
no.
She
It's an equation
was
at that
frying
point.
somebody else's fish.
That is not true. She was frying her own fish, and then she decided to fry it in public, which is not right.
You gotta-
you fry your fish in
If you
private.
smell like
Hey,
fish after you fry
you-
it, it might be something's wrong.
Your
with it.
position was
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
If you smell like fish after you fry it, you gotta clean yourself.
I'm
up.
done with you. I'm done with you.
The
see
whole
what
the
I'm
whole
saying?
example, it was trying to explain that there's a time and place for some things.
Correct. And this is not the time.
First of all,
And this was not the place.
anytime you start off on the stand
No,
saying
no, no,
first
no.
of all,
No,
we
no,
already done
no,
went wrong.
No, when he said, okay, so this a lie, and this a lie, and this is a lie.
It's like
First of all,
This is a lie. No, we're going to get it straight in here. This is a lie.
so time and place.
Time and place. Time and place. That's the kitchen table. That's what Michelle Obama calls it. The kitchen table is the table where you
Fry
Get
that
back
fish
to code
outside.
switching.
Fry that fish outside.
kitchen
get
table.
back to code switching.
Yeah.
If you smell like fish when you come out the kitchen, something ain't right.
You can smell like fish, but you can't act like it.
Be flopping and floundering.
You can't be flopping and floundering on the stuff.
Flopping and floundering.
All right, listeners. Fantasia got an award.
It's a long show.
NAACP. Are you bored yet?
No.
Am I boring you?
No, not
You
bored.
still got drinks left? You just gonna keep drinking? We can drink the Fantasia.
Hey, Fanny.
NAACP award,
See,
outstanding
Fanny failed,
actress
Fanny
in a
won.
motion picture. I love Fantasia. I love Fantasia. And let me tell you why I love Fantasia. She has overcome a lot of obstacles. If you hear her acceptance speech, which she never wrote because she didn't think she was going to win, and that was heartfelt.
It
to
sounded
me.
like she didn't write it.
No, she did not write it.
It sounded like
And she said she did not write it. And she spoke from the heart. And I love it. I love it. It
She
was
said she didn't write it.
heartfelt. It was fantastic. She talked about her mom as a queen. Anytime you can honor your mom as a queen. And she witnessed her mom go through things. And she said, God, God, and more God. Kudos to you, Fantasia. Congratulations on your NAACP Image Award. Keep up the good work and fight, fight, fight again. That's this episode.
Oh, so I can't say
Of-
nothing about it.
Oh, I thought you said you were done. You just wanted to drink and leave. Go ahead, Co-Diva.
Congratulations, Fanny. I mean, is this her first double? Fanny. Fantasia.
Oh, I was going to say you congratulating Fanny.
No. Fanny needs no
You
congratulations.
know some people say Fanny, although her name is Fanny. They do.
Well, you know what? I have been
It's too close to
accused-
Fanny.
I have been accused of calling
People a Fanny?
Kamala.
You've called Kamala.
Kamala.
Kamalama. Kalama.
It's
Kamala.
Kamala, and you've
Kamala.
called her Kamala.
And Kamala.
So now you calling Fantasia Fanny?
Well, she's forever in the history books now. So
I thought they called her Tay Tay.
I don't know what they call her.
I think you should give her something else other than
Congratulations.
Fanny.
You don't like Fanny?
I don't like Fanny. Sounds like butt.
Sounds like Manny.
We want to congratulate
butt.
our Fantasia Barrino.
we
Oh, she
already
got a new name. She got a new name. She got married.
Did she?
She
not?
has additional children. She's doing well. She's thriving.
Thriving.
No longer surviving. But we're going to close the show here on Diva Court. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for staying up and watching. We hope you had your entertainment before you get your good night cap. And as we say here on Diva Court when we close the show, we'll drink to that. Look for our episodes every week. Find us on
Spotify.
Apple Podcasts.
Apple.
Oh, we had a little extra apple there. And Google Podcasts.
Google.
Don't forget to look for our videos every Wednesday when we push them real good.
Real good.
Today was Aqua Day.
Aquamarine.
Mermaid.
Aquamarine.
Good night, everybody.
And to all a good night.
Are you going to Christmas now?
No, I don't celebrate Christmas.
Oh, I forgot. You swing like the wind, sway like the leaves.
I'm getting closer to Christ.
I mean, that's a cheap way of doing it. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Good on you,
Cheapskate.
saving some money.
Cheapskate.
Saving some money.
That's
I
what
like
she
that.
told the kids.
No.
We don't celebrate Christmas.
I'm paying for other stuff that they like.
Oh, okay.
You see that?
Wonderful. I see you're not listening. You are hard.
We canceling Christmas, but don't worry, you'll get your dividends.
They shoot.
She's a gremlin.
You'll get your dividends.
They'll be fine.
You have birthdays, right? Never mind. We canceling that too.
They'll be
She
fine.
gonna cancel that in a minute.
Cancel birthdays too.
Y'all don't have
I'll let them
birthdays.
slide on birthdays, but after the youngest one is over 18, no more birthdays.
We don't have
No
birthdays.
more birthdays.
No birthdays.
They gonna move out right when you say that.
Hey, let me tell you
They gonna
something.
be-
The bigger ones will be gone before the little one turns 18.
They gonna be like, no birthdays.
Then she gonna say, y'all coming over?
I
No,
didn't-
no, we're
let
not
me
coming
tell you
over.
something.
Because we celebrate Christmas.
I didn't have no birthdays after my mom moved to Alabama, so they'll be fine.
I mean, it's Alabama. You never want
Yeah,
to
ain't
I
celebrate.
nothing.
I
Look,
wasn't in
look,
Ain't
let
nothing
me
to
give you the
celebrate
Alabama
there.
joke. Ain't nothing good coming out of Alabama other than I-20.
Ain't nothing there to celebrate. Let's just make
They don't
sure.
have a Mississippi issue.
They just covering their Mississippi issues. They're not prosecuting their cops. They congratulating them.
They're the
Alabama
toilet
is very
paper on the
peaceful.
shit.
When you go to Alabama, isn't it like calm?
It's depressing.
It
It's
is.
very calm.
It's calm. It's
Depressing
not
calm.
depressing. It's like
It's depressing.
if it was by some water, it would give like
How about this buy some water?
it's not by.
It literally is.
It is by
I'm
water.
not. No, I'm talking about the places I go. It's very loud.
But it is by water though.
You talking about the Gulf? Like
No,
you
literally.
talking about by Mobile?
The river
I'm
that-
not talking about Mobile. I'm talking
No.
about like
There's a river that you cross over from Georgia to
no.
Alabama.
I'm not talking about a river. I'm talking about like ocean.
They have a beach.
They do.
Yeah, in Mobile.
They have an ocean.
Mobile,
Yeah, they have ocean.
but not in Montgomery.
Yeah, why would you want?
Like Montgomery is very peaceful. If they had a beach, like oceanfront, I wouldn't mind moving there.
So you just want to call Mobile Montgomery? Is that what you want?
Right. They
Why don't
say
you just move to Montgomery?
just
mean
know you want to
Mobile.
rename Mobile. to
Oh
Montgomery.
yeah, just change the
Right.
name.
I don't know. I've never been to Mobile before.
Maybe you should visit. You'd love it.
Have you been?
No. I'm lying.
Are we done?
I
Or
have
we
been.
finished?
I've been.
You have? Is it nice?
I don't like nothing in Alabama other than I-20.
to get up out of there.
To get out. To leave. Thank you.
You like Mississippi,
No ma'am.
Louisiana?
No ma'am. I like the food.
The culture. All right.
All right. I want to take my shoes off.
Clap us out.
Any more comments before we go?
Oh, you
They
just
they
love them
gave
comments.
claps saying, "Y'all done. Thank you." About time.
Thank you for the comments. Hey, hey,
They said
hey.
good night, everybody. We got to drink to that.